SuperTalk Mississippi media production.
You're listening to Sports Talk Mississippi On Demand, presented by Pearl River Resort. Escape to Choctaw, Mississippi and enjoy world-class gaming, the Dancing Rabbit Golf Club, and Geyser Falls Water Park. Escape to Pearl River Resort.
Sports Talk Mississippi is on the air. Sports Talk Mississippi is powered by C Spire. Power your home or business with C Spire Fiber. To learn more, visit supertalk.fm/C Spire. C Spire Fiber powers Super Talk Mississippi. To the junction, in the Grove, and to the top. This is Sports Talk Mississippi. On your radio and in the game, right here on Super Talk Mississippi.
Aren't you glad baseball season's here? Because if we were dependent on basketball here in the state of Mississippi, it would be a disaster. We don't do Mount Rushmores on this show. We might already be doing Mount Rushmores on this show if we had to depend on basketball for anything.
A pop culture show at this point. We would just be talking about movies and TV and like literally anything else.
I mean, imagine Sports Talk Wisconsin. I guess the Badgers are okay, right? Are they good in basketball right now?
Oh yeah, the Badgers are great. They're fantastic. We're going to go to Madison tomorrow and see them.
But they don't even have a team. So imagine if we did not have baseball here in Mississippi.
They got the Bucks too.
What we would be talking about?
I don't know if Giannis is going to stay or not. I hope he stays. I love Giannis. Love to see my kids go get some cheese curds and go see Giannis.
We need to talk about the disasters last night, though. We had a conversation starting yesterday, and I think it continues based on the results on the floor last night. We will get to that. We got a college football fix coming your way. Hadad had one of those former player conversations that we're starting to have a little bit more of on this show. He told me it was awesome. So I'm looking forward to it myself. He'll tell you about that in just a second, but I want to welcome you into Sports Talk Mississippi. We'll do all that and more. I'm Michael Borkey. He's Brian Hadad. So glad you're here on this Thursday, despite the disaster in basketball, really like most of the season, but last night was just an exclamation point on how bad it was. Glad you're here despite that.
If you witnessed Mississippi State or Ole Miss basketball in person yesterday, you may be entitled to compensation. Reach out to us at 1-800-THEY-SUCK, and you'll get your information down. We are in the Pearl River Resort studios, pearlriverresort.com. That's the place to book your next great weekend stay. No matter what you want to do this weekend, they can make it happen for you at Pearl River Resort. I got some news for you guys. That groundhog, he doesn't know his bum from a hole in the ground. All right? We got great weather.
Don't look at the Midwest, though. Whew.
That's not my concern.
He was right up there.
Well, the groundhog was right up here in Madison, but not down there in Mississippi. Anyway, great weather coming up. Hit up Dancing Rabbit very, very soon at Pearl River Resort. C Spire text line is open to you at 601-879-4395. Looking for game-changing technology? Then you need C Spire on your team. 5G wireless, fiber home internet, and business IT solutions built as tough as your defense. Learn more at cspire.com. C Spire, inspired by you.
It is one of my favorite things to say, because State was on the road last night. So I think if you are an Ole Miss fan that was in the pavilion last night with you and a few hundred of your closest friends, members of the athletic department should have been waiting outside of the arena as you left and handed you a crisp, like fresh out of the bank, unfolded $100 bill, like, sorry about this on your way out the door.
That's
I'm
our
sorry.
bad.
Yeah, my bad on that.
At least a gift card to Chick-fil-A or something, just to make up for your time. That's what. Can you imagine being the commentator for that game? Oh my God! trying to sell and we've got a garbage can versus a dumpster coming up next.
There's a South Park episode about that.
I know exactly the one you're talking about. But,
and that commentator had to wake up at 5 o'clock this morning to do a politics show.
I texted him. I went to eat lunch today, and they were replaying that game. I was like, I'm trying to eat. I don't need to see this. I'm not even talking about you. I'm talking about this game. It'll unsettle your stomach. Yes, both of those teams were putrid last
pathetic.
night. Just disgusting. State, at one point, Alabama, for the majority of the game, was shooting a higher percentage from three than they were from the floor. They made 22 threes last night. They gave up, I think they had 16 in the first half. I looked it up. 25's the record. Guess who has it? Alabama. They have that record. I thought they were going to break it.
Ugh.
I don't know what it is. State against Alabama, for some reason, two things, and Robbie Falk pointed this out. They're going to hit threes, and the game is going to be at 8 o'clock. I don't remember the last time Mississippi State and Alabama played, and it wasn't at 8 o'clock on a weekday. Jans just can't beat them. Now, there's not beating them, and there's getting embarrassed the way State did last night. That's an embarrassing loss, and that's not the first one this year. And I still stick to what I've been saying. Jans will be back next season. I would not push him out because of one bad season. But man, oh man, got to figure something out with Alabama. They do this every time they play you. They hit 23s. You can't allow that.
Yeah, and it's not just Alabama, right? If everything else was going well and last night happened, it's a weird footnote. It's like, you can't beat Alabama, but whatever. It's a game on the road in Tuscaloosa. You're not going to get punished by the committee for that one, really. Like, it's all good. It's fine. But, yeah, that's what that is. My question is, because I ended up actually watching the Ole Miss LSU game last night. I don't know why. I really don't know why I did. Because nobody in the audience would have blamed me for not, frankly. Nobody would have blamed me for not. Caleb went up there and covered it. It's like, dude, you're nuts, man.
You got to really want to go to that game.
Really,
like, I'm going Saturday. I'm going to State, Missouri. Like, what else have I got to do on a Saturday, I guess?
But yet again, they blew yet another late lead. They've done that a lot this season, done that a lot lately. They were up 8 with a few minutes to go. Deep into the second half, and they lost, and they couldn't execute in overtime, then couldn't execute in double overtime either. And the worst team, or at least you thought the worst team in the SEC coming into your place, beat you. And sure enough, it's probably you that is the worst team in the SEC. And really what I've noticed, Hadad, is that there is a segment of every fan base that puts coach over program.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, big time.
And you're starting to see some of that now. And again, just like you with Jans, I am not suggesting or intimating or anything that Ole Miss needs to fire Chris Beard. Not doing it. That's a crazy. One of my friends texted me that last night. It's like, buddy, you got $30 million? Because that's what it's going to take. It's a non-starter. You went to the Sweet 16 last year. I'm not talking about firing the guy. They've lost 10 games in a row. They haven't won since they went to Starkville.
That's right.
It's been over a month. There's a real chance that they finish in last place in the SEC. And I don't think that excuses should be made about that. Because it immediately turns into, well, who could you get that's better? Well, hold on. You went to the Sweet 16 last year. He's an elite coach. He's an elite coach. He'll figure it out. And I think that he is, but there's a lot of coaches that could lose 10 games in a row and be 11-17 right now.
They actually did get Chick-fil-A cards at the Ole Miss game. All right, so they took care of y'all.
At least a little bit. But that is the next thing that happens when seasons like this go down. It's excusing it or dismissing it. You've lost 10 games in a row. You're 11-17. How many elite coaches do that? How many do that right there? If you're telling me that, oh my gosh, don't criticize. No. This is the best you could possibly do. Nobody could do better. Please don't talk about it. Don't chase him off. None of that stuff. When you're paying what you're paying for a coach, when you're paying what you're paying for a roster, there are no excuses to be where they are right now. None. Zero. And again, I'm not talking about firing anybody. We're not talking about firing Chris Jans or firing Chris Beard. Both of their teams are pathetic, but we're not talking about firing them. But stop excuse-making for them,
and
too.
I don't think – I don't know what's going on in Oxford on that side. I don't think with State there's a lot of excuse-making.
There's a lot of the –
Your overall point is correct about that people, fans by and large, they side with the employees of the university more than the actual university sometimes. Like, coaches come and go, man. Ask Lane Kiffin. Sometimes you gotta be willing to look at the bigger picture and what's best for the university, not what's best for Coach XYZ. Here in Starkville, I don't think there's as much excuse making going on. I think everybody's put the blame directly on Jans because they've said, "Look, you recruited these guys, you evaluated them, they can't play." Going back to what we talked about yesterday with the program, that's not the issue. The issue is Chris Jans made mistakes in recruiting, and they are costing his team this year. Next year, he cannot make those same mistakes and can continue to be employed here. Simple as that.
Yeah. To me, it's a lot of the, like, if these jobs come open, you got to do what you can. You got to do what you can to keep them. All that kind of conversation, and it's just second Sweet 16 ever. That did happen last year. It did. You can't take that away. It was an incredible run. It was a great thing. Year one, the team got worse as the season went on, faltered down the stretch. This team's lost 10 in a row. They still can't get the bigs right. There's a lot wrong. A lot wrong. And I don't think budget lost to LSU last night. I don't think that was budget. We'll keep talking about this a little bit. Sports Talk Mississippi, Pearl River Resort Studio.
In the Venable.
It's time to get real.
Real sports talk for Mississippi.
It's time for you to get real with it.
Sports Talk Mississippi continues on Super Talk Mississippi.
Welcome back, Sports Talk Mississippi. A sampling of the text line. Got this one. Maybe the ESPN reporter crap is sticking to the wall in the locker room. Well, they've been losing. Both teams have been losing before that article came out yesterday. But I think that's why I'm so irked by last night's results, and really this season, is because that's out there. That's out there about your coach, both Ole Miss and State, by the way. It's amazing how that article was like, here, say, both of you. Same thing. Jans has the worst job in the SEC, and Beard's looking for a bigger budget somewhere else. Same premise, same article, same day, and then that night, State goes to Alabama and is completely uncompetitive. Ole Miss hosts the worst team in the SEC, or somebody at the bottom, and you lose on your home floor after being up 8 late. It's just amazing how that worked out. But the tone in that article is that's what's frustrated me so much, because you are getting blamed for the team's failure, or there's an excuse being made that it's budget. I got to find a place with a bigger budget. Or it's, Jans, he's got a bad job. He's at Mississippi State.
Yeah, I said this yesterday.
He's got to get out of there.
I said this yesterday, and it's the absolute truth. If Quincy Ballard was a 15-9 guy, Mississippi State would have at least 4 or 5 more wins, right? They'd be well on their way to the NCAA tournament, I would think. Is the program better just because one guy, you evaluated him correctly? If that guy had been the kind of player you thought you were getting when you signed him, what is the narrative? The narrative isn't this, because State would be well on their way to a 4th straight NCAA tournament. But because you have misevaluated one guy, this is one of the worst programs in the country, get out of here with that.
Do y'all think, this is on the text line, do y'all think head coaches are leaking that to media to make themselves not look bad in the job market? I don't know for sure, and I don't want to assign that to somebody. My theory is yes. I would love to be wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I want Chris Jans and Chris Beard to be right where they are and to win a bunch of games and go to the tournament again and make deep runs, all that. That's the preferable thing. I know generally how the coaching search stuff happens. And guys that wrote what he did yesterday didn't just pull that out of his rear end. He didn't decide yesterday, I'm going to pick on Ole Miss and Mississippi State basketball for my long-form coaching carousel article. He didn't just choose the Mississippi schools to pick on. There's conversation happening clearly about Chris Jans and Chris Beard and the possibility of going somewhere else. And, I mean, Beard was involved with Arkansas after the first year and then obviously involved with Texas A&M after year 2. So it shouldn't surprise you that that might happen again. Really shouldn't. Who was Jans not in discussion with, but he was tied to what job was it last year?
It was Arkansas.
It was Arkansas. My goodness, yeah.
A&M was last year for Beard.
A&M was last year for Beard. Arkansas was 2 years ago. Wasn't there one for Jans last year, though, too?
That was Arkansas before they hired Calipari. Are you talking about this past offseason?
This past offseason. Wasn't there another one?
No, this past offseason.
There wasn't?
No.
Doesn't matter. But that's coming from somewhere. Maybe it's just an agent doing agent things. Maybe so. Maybe. But if I were specifically a donor, the ones that paid for the roster, that buy the tickets, if I was in the arena last night and then I read that from ESPN, I don't mean to tell you how to feel, I would be bothered by that being the narrative around your coaches. That would bother me. That having a disastrous season after you supported them financially and what ESPN's writing is, need a bigger budget, need a better job.
Yeah.
It'd be different if they were winning. They're not winning, and it's not your fault. That's what I don't like, is how when you leak that kind of stuff.
If you're a fan of Mississippi State or Ole Miss basketball, what's happening today is not your fault. Don't let anybody tell you that it is. 100% it is on the two guys in charge because they evaluated these players. These players did not come for free. Now, there is one thing that people keep saying, I can't believe State spent all this money on these players. Like, guys, they had to get 8 guys out of the transfer portal. Like, the only players coming back to the team were Josh Hubbard and Sean Jones. They had to go out and get players. None of those guys were going to come for free.
Right.
Jaden Epps, Jabari McGee, Achor, Quincy Ballard, these guys had other options, other Power 4 options. Mississippi State had to pay to get them. They thought in Quincy Ballard they were getting a guy who had averaged a double-double for his career up at Wichita State. They thought that McGee and Epps were going to be more consistent shooters and scorers. They thought Achor could provide some three-point shooting and some defense. None of those things have happened. Epps has been streaky, so is McGee. Ballard is, without a question, in my opinion, the softest big man I've ever seen play basketball. It's incredible how his lack of physicality in the paint. Achor, look, has played better in SEC play, but was awful in non-conference play, and that's where State fell apart. The season fell apart back in December, before these conference games even started. They entered conference play with 5 losses. You knew they weren't going to make the tournament unless they had some ridiculous run in SEC play. Those guys were misevaluated. Mm-hmm. That doesn't mean anything about you had to pay to get those guys.
Yeah.
Both Ole Miss and State. Ole Miss the Pavilion's not brand new anymore, but it's new enough. It's still a new arena. State just remodeled the hump and put together a very expensive remodel and restoration of that building. They both have put a ton of money in NIL. They're both paying Ole Miss is paying more than a competitive salary, especially when you consider the results they're getting, and State's the same way. Just don't believe the hype. If somebody puts that out there, tell them to show their work. A lot of it with from my perspective, you get, and Robbie and I talk about this on tomorrow's Thunder and Lightning podcast. People say, well, it's hard to recruit to Starkville. No, it isn't. State high school recruiting in basketball, you just put together back-to-back the top 25, and then this class was a top 15 class. The transfer portal class was highly ranked when you got them. Same with last year. Riley Kugel and Michael DeWoko and Claudel Harris and those guys, they didn't come cheap. They were highly thought of when they got in Starkville. And I always make the same comment. It's hard to recruit in football to Starkville, and I don't know how much of that is Starkville and how much of that is the current coaching staff.
A lot of there's been
Jackie
a lot
Sherrill
of things
didn't have a lot of problems recruiting to Starkville. Dan Mullen at times. Moorhead was a good recruiter. But women's basketball has always had talent. Baseball gets talent every year. People, the whole Starkville narrative is way overblown. And Robbie talked about it. He's like, these people who say, oh, well, they don't want to come to Starkville. When's the last time you were in Starkville? Like, what are you basing this off of? When's the last time Jeff Berzello was in Starkville? Jeff Goodman. When was he in Starkville? To see what this town is and what,
Right.
The town is not the problem. Again, you have guys that were highly recruited on your roster. They're just not playing good.
Yeah. Somebody says the problem is they overpaid to get those guys, but
but they didn't. I don't think they overpaid. They paid what they had to pay to get them because they had other offers.
From other schools that were good schools.
Valor had plenty of other offers. He could have gone other places. State put together the best offer for him. It's not that they overpaid. It's that they paid the most. There's a difference.
If Sporting News is to be believed, and most of these are public record anyway, Chris Beard's making this year a base of $6 million a year. That is tied with Todd Golden at Florida.
I mean, what are we talking about?
That is above Nate Oates at Alabama. That's above Kelvin Sampson. That's above Scott Drew. That's above Mark Pope at Kentucky. That's above Tommy Lloyd at Arizona. That's above McCasland at Texas Tech. That's above Matt Painter at Purdue. Mm-hmm. It's above Sean Miller at Texas.
Yeah, if you want to talk about somebody who they overpaid to get a guy, point to that. Ole Miss overpaid Chris Beard.
But that was to keep him away from A&M.
To keep him away from other schools who wanted to get him. It's not that the players got overpaid.
(601-879-4395) messages still coming in. Just tuning in, but two things on Ole Miss basketball: missed evaluation and absolutely no chemistry with this team. And coaches you are allowed to have down years. It does happen, especially in the portal era. You missed some. Nobody rational is suggesting termination.
Right.
Where we're coming from is what's happening is your job is being blamed for why the teams are bad, and that's unacceptable and incorrect. That's why we are talking about this the way that we are.
Somebody
today.
Here. Do you think the players are simply playing bad in Oxford and Starkville because the money is going to their head? Do the players in Gainesville and Chapel Hill and Raleigh and where is Duke? I can't remember. Durham. Do you think those players aren't getting paid?
They're all getting paid.
They're all getting paid. It's because they're just not playing well. They're not as good as you thought they were when you evaluate them. Simple as that. It's got nothing to do with money.
Sports Talk Mississippi. We'll be right back in the Pearl River Resort studio.
From the Sebra.
Your number one for sports talk.
Anyone? Come on, don't be shy.
Sports Talk Mississippi.
Bingo, man, bingo.
Super Talk Mississippi.
Sports Talk Mississippi, here with you on a Thursday afternoon. Wish these baseball tournaments were starting today. Can we add another team to each tournament and go ahead and get this week going? Let Southern Mississippi play a 4-game set with Louisiana Tech.
Heck yeah.
What are we doing here? Sports Talk Mississippi is brought to you in part by AgriGold. AgriGold believes progress in the field starts with seed and the people who plant it. That's why AgriGold focuses 100% on seed, delivering trusted genetics and solutions to help you get more out of every acre. Contact Kerry Baker today at 662-836-7417. He is your local AgriGold representative to learn more, or you can visit agrigold.com to explore seed solutions and agronomy resources. Plant your legacy today with AgriGold.
A few more of your messages have come in. We'll probably put this to bed. I am a repetitive person. I often get repetitive. I see a lot of people.
You get repetitive, I hear.
I do. I get repetitive. I'm a pretty repetitive person.
You're redundant.
Sometimes I do.
You're like
myself.
A hot water heater.
Yeah, exactly, or the ATM machine. But
our PIN number, yeah.
I did see some of that. People are at times afraid to criticize coach, and when you guys are putting in what you're putting in, you should be furious about the product. And hey, the fans voted with their butts last night.
Yeah,
how I like to put it.
I didn't watch any of that game. You were talking about that. What was the crowd?
Hundreds.
That bad, huh?
It was horrible. I mean,
I'm fascinated to see what happened Saturday in Starkville.
Maybe they got to four figures. Maybe there was 1,000 to 1,500 people in there. But no, it was horrible, and that's what it should have been. But apathy's a problem. I think you're already approaching apathy, but I don't think you should just blindly defend a coach that you're investing the way you are in. Doesn't mean you want him fired. Doesn't mean you want him, you want to start throwing eggs at his house and toilet papering the trees or anything like that. But it's unacceptable what is going on in basketball. Completely unacceptable. And it's up to them to turn it around unless, what's being leaked to ESPN is accurate and they're looking to get out. So
somebody on the C Spire text line, 601-879-4395. I was at the Ole Miss game last night. To say there was 1,000 people there would be pushing it.
See? Yeah. And by the way, I'm not being flippant. Kudos to you for going. Mm-hmm. The dedication that you show when you go and watch that team play is truly remarkable. The universities that have fans like you are lucky to have fans like you that are still willing to go to the game. Straight up. Sorry you had to deal with that, though. Sorry about that. Here's an old man yells at Cloud Take, Hadad.
Give it to me.
So you know how the NFL Players Association does a survey and they grade the teams based on things like nutrition and locker room and facilities and all that stuff? There's one in particular that I don't understand. Like the Steelers are getting ripped for poor field conditions, and apparently the locker rooms are horrible to the point where not every player at halftime has time to go to the bathroom because they don't have enough.
You said the Steelers?
Yeah.
That's a relatively new stadium.
It's been there forever.
No, Heinz Field?
It's been there a while.
That's less than 20 years old, isn't it?
Well, apparently the players do not have enough time because there's so few spaces for them to go to the bathroom at halftime. They don't have time to do it because there's so few. So I get those complaints. Here's one that I don't get, though. The Packers apparently did not do a very good job, and one of them is players report that the team does not provide game day childcare, as most teams do, contributing to their bottom third ranking for treatment of families. Hey, Dad, do you get childcare provided for you every day? Those of you listening out there, you don't get paid millions of dollars either. Does childcare come free with your employment agreement? I'm sorry, 17 days a year, you have to find childcare. You're a multi-million-dollar football player. I'm sorry. I have no sympathy for that. Doesn't move me at all.
I will say, in Green Bay, it's probably tough to find somebody who's not going to the game. Small town.
I guess.
That might be the only issue. I mean, that is. Well, the other side of that, though, look, far be it from me to take up. Well, no, I'm taking up for the players here. I'm not. You're a NFL team. You literally print money. You can't hire 3 people to watch some kids.
Well, you need more than that.
Well, just saying. I mean, how many kids are we talking about here for 3 hours a week?
I mean, do you think on average, because not every player has children, right? But a lot of players have multiple children.
45-man roster, right?
47 on game day. Yeah.
47-man roster. Let's say an average of, I would say an average of one child, right?
A kid per player, yeah.
There might be somebody who has, Phillip Rivers might show up. But if
Cam Jordan has 5 or 6 kids.
Yeah, but an average of one, because you're going to have a bunch of rookies who don't have kids or, don't have kids that live with them or something. You're going to, one. So 47 kids, you probably need what? 8 people? Paying them what? $60,000 a year?
Yeah, depending on
$480,000? Congrats, that's the beer sales from the second quarter. Yeah. All right? Of one game. I'm going to say, look, I'm not much for the coddled players, but this is one. Yeah, especially if you're telling me the other teams in the league provide that, you've got to provide that. And this kind of goes back. I don't know if you saw this. I don't think we talked about it, but like the NFL, they are no longer going to publicize these franchise rankings.
Yeah, because the owners were getting ripped for.
It was not even the owner. It was the Jets. The Jets were being made out as a subpar franchise, and they were like, "We can't have this." I would just if I'm the players, I'll just be like, "I'll just tell you. If you ask, I'll tell you." But that billionaires. You have a $1 billion product that it relies on the happiness and physical health of your employees. Maybe take care of them. I'm going to side with the players on this one. I agree that not everybody gets child care. I agree with that. But at the same time, this is a drop in the bucket of what the money they make. They could easily pay for that.
Back to the original basketball conversation, because I saw this message right here. Went to the game by myself and drove back to Ridgeland after the game. Was a halfway decent student crowd there, team playing without confidence. You're a heck of a fan. And again, I'm not being sarcastic. I'm not talking down. You really are a heck of a fan. To drive up to drive up from Ridgeland and back to go see a team that had lost 9 in a row going into last night. Game started at 8 o'clock. It went to double overtime. What time did you get back? 2 a.m.?
That's a good point. Yeah, Steelers moved from Three Rivers in 2001. That stadium's 25 years old. It should have enough restrooms.
It should have. That was mind-blowing to see that the players sometimes they don't have enough time.
From the C Spire text line. Open a daycare in those cities for Sundays. Charge a premium. More on Mornings with Richard Cross. We are sitting on a gold mine here.
We are.
Borkey Hadad Premium Child Care Services.
The Leering Center.
The Leering Center. The Michael Borkey Center for kids who don't read good but want to do other things good. We could be sitting on a gold mine here. I'll live in. Again, I can just fit right in. I will assimilate to Wisconsin culture. I love cheese curds. I like to drink beer. I like smoked meats. And
mostly
I can pull off the accent. Oh yeah, you betcha. So I make it happen.
And all these parents, we've done it too.
Wearing a yellow shirt. It's kind of greenish.
Invest all kinds of money in toys and stuff, and just buy like 10 moving boxes, and you've got 3 hours of childcare.
That's a good point. We're talking about 9 home games, by the way, not 17.
Yeah, 9. That's it.
Yeah. So it's not. You don't have to do it every week. That's me. I screwed that up. You need somebody to show up 9 weekends out of the year. You need 8 employees that can work 9 days a year. I mean, I would literally go to daycares around town and be like, hey, want to make some excellent money? We need you to commit to 9 days a year. You're going to meet the Packers, by the way. Like, we'll do a Meet the Packers day. You come in and you can meet the team and bring your husband. I could solve this problem in 5 minutes, and it would probably cost the franchise a total of $200,000 at most. Drop in the bucket.
Yeah. I like where your head's at.
My head's, it's about making money.
Always about making money.
That's right.
Ben says, I remember being at an Ole Miss game when Eddie Strong used some equipment cases as a shield to go on the sidelines.
That's what we're going to do. Yeah, we're about to move to Wisconsin. Don't worry, we'll take a Comrex with us. We can still do this show.
Exactly.
But we've got to...
a few weeks a year.
Yeah, a few weeks. Yeah, basically, I didn't say geese curds. Cheese curds. Cheese! Cheese curds. How do you know what that is?
Jimmy wants to know what app the Ole Miss games will be on this weekend. I will double check. I think you can watch it free on the Astros YouTube channel. I think. I will double check that.
About the Ole Miss games?
Yes. I believe that's where you can watch them.
State, tomorrow's game will be streaming live on YouTube for free. After that, it's Flow Sports time. You're going to have to pay. But you can watch tomorrow for free.
Sports Talk Mississippi. Bouncing around a little bit on this Thursday, thanks to basketball for providing us great conversation on this Thursday. I've got a travel question for you when we come back.
Oh, okay. I'm excited.
From the Venable Talk Mississippi.
Here we go.
Super Talk Mississippi.
Welcome back, Michael Borkey, Brian Hadad. Hey, Hadad, real quick, tell the people about the conversation that you had that they're about to hear coming up in the next hour.
Yeah, I talked earlier this week with former SEC Pitcher of the Year, former Consensus All-American, former first-round draft choice, and then a 10-year career in Major League Baseball. Tupelo's own Chris Stratton joined the Thunder and Lightning podcast. We're going to bring that interview here to Sports Talk Mississippi. Really good conversation. Of course, he is one of the newest members. Will be inducted later this year to the Ron Polk Ring of Honor at Dudy Noble Field. Very well-deserved recognition for him. So wanted to talk to him about that, about his MLB career, which he told us on the show is coming to an end. He's calling it a career. So I don't know if I broke that news or not, but that is something you'll hear about in just a few minutes. It's a long interview. It'll go basically into the 4:30 time slot there, but really good stuff from the former Bulldog.
Really excited.
All right, so you've got some travel questions, though, for me.
Yeah, so it's tongue-in-cheek, but this did come, or I think it's tongue-in-cheek. This came from the official Tampa International Airport's account. And here is what they said. Quote, "We've seen enough, we've had enough. It's time to ban pajamas at Tampa International Airport. After successfully banning Crocs and giving everyone the amazing opportunity to experience the world's first Croc-free airport, it's time to take on an even larger crisis. Pajamas at the airport in the middle of the day."
Stop. They banned Crocs?
I don't know, but this is their official account, so let's just take their word for it.
Okay.
They say, "We know this decision could be disruptive to some in your life. It's time to have a difficult conversation with them. We can do this, or you can do this. We and Phoebe," I don't know who Phoebe is. Is that a Friends reference? I don't know. "Believe in you. The madness stops today. The movement starts now. Help Tampa International Airport become the world's first Crocs-free and pajama-free airport. Your take, fair or foul? Do we need to ban pajamas from the airport?"
Two things. Phoebe is a 21-foot tall pink flamingo sculpture located on level 3 of the main terminal at Tampa International Airport. So it's a piece of art.
Piece of art.
Do T-shirts and gym shorts count as pajamas?
It depends on the quality of the gym short. Are they gym shorts that have been taken care of, or do they have holes in them?
Fine. Yeah, they're fine. They're gym shorts that you could wear without embarrassment. Am I allowed to wear that?
That does not count as pajamas. Did you get out of bed and then shower and then put those on?
I sleep in T-shirt and gym shorts.
But did you change the T-shirt and gym shorts before you got to the airport?
No, I got out. I rolled out of bed and drove to the airport.
Banned.
What if I'm wearing a baseball cap? You can't tell my hair is messed up.
You got to change your clothes after you sleep, because then if you wore them to bed,
because they count
intentionally, they count as pajamas.
They count as pajamas. Okay, I see where you're going with that. I respect that. But only I would know. You wouldn't know. You'd just be like, that guy's wearing a T-shirt and a pair of gym shorts.
Yeah, but isn't there like a...
I mean, there might be, depends on, what was going on before you went to sleep, I guess. Jeez. But by and large, I think, people who wear pajamas in public, not great. Not great. I mean, if you're going out in public, I'm not saying you got to put on a suit, but you have enough self-respect to put some clothes on that you didn't sleep in. I agree.
I am a comfort flyer. But
I am too.
Like, I'll have a hoodie on and joggers and stuff like that. But, hey, and it's not just the airport, though. And it's all people. Like, this is not, it's everybody. Sometimes I'll just go to the grocery store and I'll think,
I'm flying to Tampa in a couple months too. But my flight leaves at 1:00 in the afternoon from Birmingham. So I was wearing pajamas at that point. I got bigger issues.
I'm thinking when I see people now, like, what are you wearing? You left the house. You looked at a mirror, presumably on your way out, and thought, this is an okay way to present myself to the world.
Yeah.
Like, again, I'm a comfort flyer. Make me comfortable, but like, I'm dressed and my clothes have been washed and I took a shower probably. I don't get it. And how you're willing to sit on like a 6-hour flight having not change, nothing. Like you just roll out and you're just.
So somebody's saying, "Oh, why can't you fly comfortably?" You can fly comfortably. There's athleisure. Is that the word now?
Yeah, athleisure.
There's plenty of comfortable stuff you can wear. Pajamas are like obvious. Like I'm not talking about like athleisure, gym shorts, sweatpants. Totally acceptable.
Yeah.
Pajamas
are different.
And it's kind of like we've said before, it's kind of like pornography. I can't define it, but I know it when I see it, right? That's what pajamas are. So, yeah, we're going to go with that. You can absolutely be comfortable, but you can't wear pajamas.
Andy says, wow, how people used to dress to the nines to
fly.
People
used to wear a suit to get on a plane. I saw a picture of a kid like in the 40s, like he's seen his first TV. He's looking in the window. He's wearing a three-piece suit. Like, what 8-year-old kid's wearing a three-piece suit just walking around town? Can you imagine?
We should go back to that.
No, we absolutely should not.
I don't want to wear a suit anywhere.
Yeah, I don't want to wear a suit anywhere. If I wear a suit, somebody better be getting married or they better be dead. Those are the only two options I'm giving you.
We will get to Hadad's conversation with Chris Stratton after the news. Sports Talk Mississippi. Don't go anywhere.
Sports Talk Mississippi.
Hey, it's go time.
Sports Talk Mississippi.
Well, say something.
Super Talk Mississippi.
What's up on Sports Talk Mississippi? We're about to go to my interview with former Diamond Dawg, former Major League Baseball player, one of my favorite players to use on Immaculate Grid, as I tell him in the interview, Chris Stratton. What's up on Sports Talk Mississippi is brought to you by Ag Up. Own the John Deere compact tractor you've always wanted now with 0% financing at Ag Up. Whether you're trading in, upgrading your land, or a new landowner needing equipment, your down-home team will get you the right machine at the right price. Now with 0% financing on all 1 through 4 series machines, stop by your local Ag Up or visit them at agup.com, your down-home dealer. Offer ends April 30th, 2026. Some restrictions apply. See dealer for details. When guests appear on the show, they do it on the Farm Bureau guest line. Check out favorites.com and go with the home team. We'll go now to my interview with former Diamond Dawg, Chris Stratton. Pleased to welcome to the show at this time, for the first time, former SEC Pitcher of the Year, Major League pitcher, and now the newest member of the Ron Polk Ring of Honor, Chris Stratton. Chris, really appreciate you coming on. Looking at your baseball reference, and by the way, I want to let you know I used you today on Immaculate Grid. What a coincidence, but you were on the
percentage, I'm sure, but yes.
You know what? You were one of my favorite guys for Immaculate Grid. You work in a lot of different places. What's the secret to a long Major League Baseball career like you've had?
Man, that's a great question. Tough one to lead off with. I think, to be honest with you, is being available and being coachable, and being able to filter what works for you and what doesn't work for you. I think that every player kind of has something that they're really good at, whether that be you're a power hitter, you get on base. If it's a pitcher, you're a strikeout pitcher, or you eat innings. As a starter, you get deep in games. I think that my bread and butter was being available every day. And I think that's what allowed me to continue to play as long as I did, and for teams to value that. Because at some point, your big dogs in the bullpen need a break. And if you're available every day and you can take the ball and have those innings that are important innings for the team, but also be able to rest some of those guys, I think it really helps, especially during the playoffs.
You play in the SEC, and people like to make the comment that's closer to Major League Baseball than anything else can be at this level. How close is it really? What is the difference between college baseball and Major League Baseball? The best college hitter versus an average Major League Baseball hitter?
The ability to adapt. I think that college hitters, if they've got if there's a way to get them out, you can pretty much go to the well as much as you want. And the guys that are able to adjust off of that, can probably have a future past college. So, like a guy like Adam Frazier, who I've been fortunate enough to play with on, several teams, in college and in the big leagues. He was able to, foul off and battle guys, and he was always a pest to throw against. So guys, guys like that are able to, adapt. Even if you're trying to get them out a certain way, they're able to foul it off and get the pitch they need. I think that is super beneficial.
Frazier was on the grid today as well, so both the all there.
Perfect.
I've asked this question so many times in the past few months that people are probably getting tired of me asking it. This was one of those, it's my show and I'll ask this question kind of thing. As you know, I'm a big Giants fan. Your thoughts on Vitello heading to San Francisco, is that something that can work?
Yeah, I think you can make anything work, to be honest with you. I do think it was a surprise playing with Buster and just kind of knowing his personality. I think him going a different direction was a little bit of a surprise to me, but in the grand scheme of things, I know he's done his homework. So there's no doubt that he felt like he was the best fit for the job. And at the end of the day, the managers that are in the big leagues, the ones that are able to get the most out of their players are the players' managers. And those are the ones that, kind of let the locker room police itself. And, those guys have that camaraderie together. And from the sounds of, I've seen a few videos of guys that are in camp, with the Giants, and they've all had positive things to say about them.
Not a lot of guys making the jump from college to the major leagues. Of the major league managers you played for, who would have been the best college coach?
Ooh, that's a good question. I don't know if Bochy would have been able.
I was thinking no on that one.
No, I don't think Bochy would have been a good one. He's exactly where he needed to be.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed Q that's with the Royals. I think that he's one of those that can go anywhere. I think that a lot of the assistant guys would be a little bit more apt for the college role, more so than the managers, if I had to guess.
So your name came up last week on some MSU message boards because we were talking about after Josh Hubbard had that 46-point game against Auburn, the greatest performance by a Bulldog athlete in a single game. Your game against LSU came up. I don't know how much you like to talk about that game, considering that you didn't get the win that night, but you threw an unbelievable game that night. I went back and looked, and I'd forgotten it was Gossman was the other guy on the mound. That's one of the best pitched games maybe in SEC history. My question is this. When you're an athlete and you're having a day like that, are you aware that you're having that day, or is it just happening?
It's just happening. And that's something I actually had a conversation with Butch Thompson probably the next day after. I think it was probably like the third inning. I ended up, he kind of said something to me on the bench. They try to stay out of the way, especially when you're in a groove. You just kind of doing that. But I enjoy talking during the game. I feel like it kind of keeps me, relaxed and loose and everything. But I remember talking to him next day, and I said, I remember speaking to you in the third, and then by the time I looked up, it was already the seventh inning. It's just kind of like he was going so quick himself, but Gosman was. So, it's kind of just like, all right, you come in and get some water, and then you're right back out there and, going head to head against him. But overall, it was a special night. Me and Kendall Graveman, he would always joke with me, about 8 2/3. We would joke, back and forth. So, there's a few outings he had in 8 2/3. He's like, man, you can't even complete the game, So, we like to bust each other about that kind of thing. But I do remember, Mitch Slaughter was my catcher at the time, and just kind of, just going out there, and I was just basically just throwing whatever he was calling. And sometimes the magic is wherever the glove is, it just kind of goes there every time. And I think it's just one of those that just being on for the night.
So, baseball recruiting is such a thing. Did you commit to Cohen or to Polk?
So Polk recruited me, but then he ended up leaving. So I think I was the second recruit for Butch and for John Cohen. So Ethan Bright was the first one.
So you would have come into Mississippi State at a time where the program was not where Mississippi State baseball expects to be. What was the vision that Butch Thompson and John Cohen gave to you?
Well, Ole Miss was ranked number 4, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
If I remember that right.
That should be Pomerantz, shouldn't it?
Yes. So they were really good. Man, he was really good.
I saw him at Wrigley this year. I
can't believe he's still going, to be honest.
I'm not really paying attention. We're at the ball game having a beer, and I look up. I was like, "Is that Drew Pomerantz?" Boo!
Yeah, that's right. He used to throw his curveball. He pushes his index finger to throw his curveball. It's just the strangest thing.
Yeah.
Which if you have a unicorn pitch, I will say that if you have a unicorn pitch, master that and keep throwing it. Don't let anybody change something that's very unique. But what was the question again? Sorry.
About what was the vision of that Cohen and Thompson gave you during recruiting?
Oh yeah. Basically it was State and Ole Miss were recruiting me. My family grew up State fans. My brother was already at school at State, so maybe I had a little more bias towards State already anyways, but I don't know if I envision myself playing baseball past high school. You just kind of are in the moment and you look up and you're like, hey, I think I might could play, at the next level. So then, getting recruited by Coach Cohen and Coach Thompson, I just remember the intensity with Coach Thompson in our initial I think it was it was our initial visit, but it was what is it when it's not, you're not committed already? It's
unofficial.
Unofficial. Thank you. On the unofficial visit, but I just remember him being so intense. They didn't even have a desk in the room. They literally rolled in chairs from the back. So it's just him and my Butch, Coach Cohen, and my dad they had the wheelchairs from the back, no table to even look at. And he was just sitting next to me, and I just remember it just like he's staring a hole through me. It's just the intensity and just everything that I had. Just speaking with him and Coach Cohen, just the genuine personality of each just kind of came through, and I don't know, I just gravitated towards it. My dad was a high school coach. He coached high school basketball, so I don't know. For some reason, I'm always able to see stuff from a different lens. I guess I've been blessed in that regard.
We will get to the second half of that conversation after a quick break. Chris joined Hadad on the Farm Bureau guest line. Check out favorites.com and go with the home team, Mississippi Farm Bureau. The unique curveball is something that I learned. Didn't know that Pomeranz had that in his arsenal, so I'm learning something there. We'll give you the second half of that conversation right after this short break. Sports Talk Mississippi. Don't go anywhere.
Sports Talk Mississippi is brought to you by Covington County Hospital in Collins, where your health matters.
It's time for more Sports Talk Mississippi.
Finally.
On SuperTalk Mississippi, the SuperTalk app, and at supertalk.fm.
Welcome back, Sports Talk Mississippi. We continue on the Farm Bureau guest line. Here is part two of Hadad's one-on-one with Mississippi State legend Chris Stratton.
Just picked up on there, Chris. You call him Butch, but you also say Coach Cohen.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just maybe over time I feel like I've started to call him Butch.
I just thought that was interesting. I was like, that. You didn't say John, and didn't say Coach Thompson.
It's hard to say John. I don't know. Yeah. I have the same respect for both. Don't get me wrong. But
sure, yeah.
For some reason, it's like Coach Cohen. Yeah,
that's interesting. So if I did the math right, looking at the 2012 roster, you played with 7 guys aside from yourself that played Major League Baseball. 6 pitchers, and then the 2 hitters were Renfroe and Frazier. What's that fraternity like amongst the former Diamond Dogs in MLB? Is there a group text? Is there a lot of camaraderie when you go on the road and you see those guys?
Oh yeah, just reliving old times. Just an occasional text here and there, especially like if you see a guy have a great game, I'll send something to one of the guys. Woodruff lives 10 minutes up the road from me, so he was my throwing partner for like 6 years, in the off season. So this is the first year I did not, play catch with him, which was kind of weird and a little weird to get adjusted to. But anytime you're playing with a state guy or, run into another one, it's just, especially if there's an Ole Miss guy on your team. Like we had James MacArthur from Ole Miss. Mm-hmm. It was me, Frazier, and Renfro were all on the same team. So we would bust him every day, just about all things. There was one of the games where State ended up winning the series against Ole Miss, and so we dressed him up in some State stuff. And
very nice.
And he was like, "Man, I'm not doing that." And I was like, "Man, I've never asked you to do anything." Like as an older guy, I was like, "You're putting that on today. You're putting it on." And he did. He reluctantly did. And but the other two guys were a little bit more animated with their stuff. I try to be low key for the most part.
I could see Renfro being quite animated about that.
Yes.
I mean, the easy question here is, what's it like to win a World Series?
It's kind of a whirlwind, honestly, because there's so many games in such a little amount of time. All you're trying to do is just win the next one. You're not worried about anything past today. And, just each game kind of had its own uniqueness about it. In the end, I feel obviously Arizona was very, very good to make it all the way. Mm-hmm. But just the rivalry between the Rangers and the Astros, it almost felt like that was the World Series because of how it played out. Just the game in Houston when I think it was Evan Carter hit, robbed the one against the fence, thought it was gone. It could have changed the trajectory of the whole series. But yeah, it's just every pitch is just amplified. And I think sitting back, like almost as a fan and watching the game, you feel the intensity. But then when you actually get in the game, during the World Series, I was surprised at how it felt normal. Mm-hmm. That makes sense. It just was like, all right, well, we're just
kind of going back to what you talked about earlier, where you're just doing it.
Yeah, you're just doing it. And that comes with experience. And that's something that I feel like the big leagues is starting to get away from a little bit is, you're bringing up all these young guys. And some of the veteran leadership that's in the clubhouses is starting to get faded out. Guys get more expensive, the longer they stay in, and the new guys are cheaper. But the guys that have been there and done that, it really, really helps evolve your locker room. And, it's not like how to win.
Right.
I don't know how else to describe it. It's like that one thing you really can't put a number on or, a value to it.
So how often have you've been playing baseball nonstop since you left Mississippi State? How often have you been able to make it back to Dudy Noble?
I was there, I guess, for the Hofstra series, so I was able to see that. And I, go to football games and basketball games. So we go quite often. We're just in Tupelo, so we're not too far able to make it. And, I will say the one thing with these kids nowadays in college, I feel like they're so much bigger than we were when we were there. It's like, my goodness.
Outside of West Ray.
Yes, we're there for the alumni game, and we're all just kind of walking by, and then their whole team walks by, and they're all going to work out or something like that, and just seeing the different sizes that they are now than what we were is just kind of funny, honestly. Like I talked to Ross Mitchell about that just the other day. Mm-hmm. Ross Mitchell looks exactly the same right now as he did when he played. Probably 6'1", $165.
Yeah.
And that guy would get lost in the shuffle, just if you looked at the team, but, All-American and all the things that he did at State. So
what does making the Ring of Honor mean to you?
Man. Coach Polk's just had such an impact on not only Mississippi State, but just baseball as a whole. Him coaching in the Cape, he's been able to touch a lot of different guys that he would normally not be in contact with. And I think that, we actually have, guys will be in the locker room like, hey, I got a letter from Coach Polk today. And it's like, how do you know? Like, oh, well, I played against his team, 15 years ago, and, I had a decent game, and he, just said congrats on that. And, just always keeping up. So his ability to keep in touch with people is second to none. I've never seen anything like it. But just like I said, the impact that he's had not only on State and, things past himself has been huge. And, I hate that I didn't get to play for him personally, but just hearing all the stories from the guys that did get to play for him, I can only imagine how much fun they had.
All right, so you mentioned you were at the Hofstra series. Pitchers and catchers have reported. We've got spring training games going on. What is your plan for 2026? Is the phone still open for you?
I don't think so. Right now my son's playing a little baseball himself, and the girls are kind of getting into their thing. So I think it's just kind of time to be at home and be a dad, and I'm totally good with that. Been blessed throughout my career to be able to play as long as I have and be relatively injury free. So, a lot of guys spend a lot of their time, trying to fight back, but just been really blessed from the health standpoint. But I think it's just time to be home and be with the family.
So what is life after baseball going to look like for Chris Stratton? I mean, you say you live in Tupelo. The former Golden Wave is the mayor. Could you get into politics?
No. No, I'm pretty low key, so not really up my alley. But that's a great question. If you have anything for me, let me know, because I'm still trying to figure out what to do next.
I'm trying to push Robbie out on this podcast all the time. We could just, Stratton, you could be the other half of Thunder and Lightning. We could.
I don't know if I could live up to that, but I can do a guest appearance, I guess, every now and then. But
absolutely.
But yeah, I'm still trying to figure it out, honestly. And it's not that like it snuck up on me, that my career's done. I'm 35 years old. Not to make anybody in the audience feel old if they saw me play at college, but
brother, that's every day for me.
Yeah. Reminded quite often looking at my kids, but it doesn't, like I said, it didn't sneak up on me, but you just don't really know what to do next. It's all I've ever done. Baseball was a fun thing to do. It's what we did, played all sports that we could, just had to, kind of pick one. We ended up going with baseball, and, it ended up turning into my job, and now it's not my job anymore. So, trying to find different hobbies and stuff to do. But definitely want to continue to reach out to people about baseball. I've got too much knowledge and experience not to say something, but what does that look like? I have no idea.
Well, anytime you want to talk baseball, you've got a platform right here on the podcast. You just hit me up.
Really good stuff there from Chris Stratton and Brian Hadad, who also hosts a statewide radio show. It's a really interesting thing that Hadad does there as well. 12 stations, 82 counties, online stream, video stream.
You keep bringing that up. I don't know what's going on.
Incredible audience. But no, that was outstanding.
Thank you.
Just so glad that happened.
When it finished, I was like, that felt like a good interview.
It was really
You never know how they're going to go. So,
And like monotone, pretty just relaxed, and depth.
Yeah.
I liked that a lot. So, Chris, join us on the Farm Bureau guest line. Check out favorites.com and go with the home team, Mississippi Farm Bureau. This former player thing, I think I'm going to keep pursuing this because it's some of the best content we've done lately.
Well, yeah, it's just
is that kind of stuff.
Everybody wants to talk to those guys. Everybody wants to hear from the former players, especially the guys who have played in the pros. I mean, they've got stories to tell. I mean, that story he told about Renfroe and Frazier and him, teaming up on James MacArthur.
Poor James MacArthur, man.
What can you do? So
good stuff there. So coming up, we got a college football fix to get to. Something just dropped from our friend Ross Dellinger, and this is
Ross every day. It's got to stop.
The solution to college football is on its way. It's on its way. The best people are on it now. And I can't wait to tell you who is on the fix for college football when we come back. Sports Talk Mississippi, don't go anywhere.
From the SuperTalk Mississippi,
your all-access pass to all things sports in Mississippi.
Sports Talk Mississippi on the SuperTalk app, your local SuperTalk station, and at supertalk.fm.
Welcome back in Sports Talk Mississippi. Brian Hadad's favorite reporter, Ross Dellinger from Yahoo.
I would like to see a graph of how much I like a guy versus how much I don't care about his reporting.
Hadad, I think you're going to be impassioned about this one. So Ross Dellinger at Yahoo reports The fight over the future of college athletics is reaching its most prominent battlefield yet, the White House. Donald Trump is convening next Friday a presidential roundtable of more than 3 dozen dignitaries, because things get done when you've got 3 dozen people in the conversation, but it gets better. And sports celebrities to further explore solutions for the industry's ills.
Celebrities. These are the people we're bringing in.
Oh, Hadad, just wait.
I've seen it already. Go ahead.
Oh, those with knowledge of the meeting spoke to Yahoo under anonymity, obviously. Some are skeptical that the meeting will transpire as scheduled. White House meetings are always subject to delay and cancellation due to unexpected events warranting the president's attention. You know, it's the president. I hope that there are things that are going to direct his attention.
Than this.
But anyway, amid the years-long congressional discourse over college sports legislation, the group, dubbed the Saving College Sports Roundtable, is expected to hold discussions over solutions to a once amateur industry rapidly evolving into a professionalized outfit. Here are the dignitaries. The 4 Power Conference commissioners, at least 1 AD representing each power league, and apparently they are from Wake Forest, Iowa State, Indiana, and Oklahoma. Notre Dame AD Pete Bavacqua and ex-Notre Dame athletic director Jack Swarbrick, because we continue to give Notre Dame a voice bigger than what they should have, but whatever. Former coaches Mac Brown, Nick Saban, and Urban Meyer, because I want Urban Meyer around. Texas Tech board member Cody Campbell. Heisman.
Finally, someone who has a stake in this. Finally, it only took you like naming 10 guys.
Heisman winners Tim Tebow and Charlie Ward. University presidents / chancellors Doug Gerard, I believe is how you say his last name, from Kansas. Jeff Gold from Nebraska. Dondi Plowman from Tennessee. And former Clemson and West Virginia president Jim Clements. Okay, so far, not bad, right? Oh, okay, a lot of people involved in college sports, former players, coaches, I get it. The commissioners, that makes sense. Want to hear from the people that are involved in the deal. All right, I hear you. But here's where it gets worse. There are plenty more from outside of college athletics. Business titans, athletes, celebrities, and pro sport executives. They include NBA Commissioner Adam Silver. Let me pause there for a second. There is nobody that I want with less influence on the future of college football than Adam Silver. I really would rather Congress have more of a sway than the NBA Commissioner Adam Silver. When everything else in sports is growing in popularity, he is running his league to the ground. And he has he's not a college football guy anyway. But unless his inclusion in the meeting is, hey, Adam, what do you think? And then you write down the exact opposite. Otherwise, I don't want him near this.
Right.
Millionaire businessmen like David Blitzer, Mark, Gannis, and Jerry Cardendale. Gets worse. Pro golfers like Tiger Woods and Bryson DeChambeau.
Why? What do they know? Also, they just announced that Patriots owner Jonathan Kraft, the son of Robert Kraft, a man who has obviously learned from the best at how to inherit a fortune. A man who was never mind being born on third base, he was born rounding third. All right? I can't wait for,
he was born with the home run ball in the air.
20 years from now, when the Patriots win another Super Bowl, it's just like, Mr. Kraft, what an incredible journey. Your dad was rich and then he died and you got the team. Tell us all about it. What on earth is that guy going to tell us?
Why is Bryson DeChambeau invited to this?
No idea.
Why is Tiger Woods invited to this?
No idea. Well,
I respect Tiger Woods, the golfer.
He has nothing to do with this. Nothing.
What are they going to offer? Tiger Woods is kind of involved in the gutting of the PGA Tour right now. They're going to make sweeping changes on tour. I would like for him to focus on that, personally. And anyway, apparently Trump is going to serve as the chair, along with Ron DeSantis and Randy Levine, the president of the New York Yankees.
The president of the New York Yankees is going to take part in a forum designed to help college sports. Mm-hmm. By the way, notice who's not on this list? A current college athlete.
Not one. And you've got a lot of high-profile ones with cachet, too, that people would listen to.
Could absolutely have a high-profile athlete there.
Bring a bunch of them. Bring C.J. Carr, Dante Moore, Julian Sayin, Trinidad Chambliss.
Trinidad Chambliss, yes.
The guys, I would avoid the guys that have transferred, which I guess Sayin transferred, but not like Sorsby. You don't bring that guy. You don't bring Sam Levin. But guys that are sticking with their schools, that have navigated new contracts, stuff like that'd be great.
Yeah.
Also, no mention of any antitrust experts.
Right.
To help when they have ideas. Hey, guys, this can't happen or this can or this is what you have to. None of that. No, we're going to have Bryson DeChambeau with his set of irons that are all the same length.
Marty says, Tiger has commented on this recruiting of his son Charlie. Well, so have I. So can I go? I don't want to go, but that doesn't make any sense.
So Greg Sankey, Tony Petitti, when you ask for government's help, this is government's help.
This is basically you're getting a banquet for the president to play people he's interested in.
Pretty much.
Yeah, there will be nothing. We will gain nothing from this.
3 dozen people at a round table. 3 dozen. Condoleezza Rice, who I think is a brilliant woman, by the way. She's brilliant.
And Trump are friends. Okay.
Oh. We're talking about the Safe College Football Commission here. Bryson can really help you with YouTube. He's got a big following on YouTube. He's a big YouTube guy.
Yeah.
So maybe that's the next angle for college football. Here's how you save it. You
put it on YouTube.
Put it on YouTube.
Everybody watches YouTube.
The captain of the Crushers GC is going to be fixing college football. Man.
Just painful.
It really is. I want Bryson to wear his Live-issued team gear to this meeting, too.
That would be hilarious.
Oh, my gosh. Hey, Dad, what is wrong? What are we...
I couldn't tell
you. What are we doing? Social event, nothing more. Somebody says they didn't invite Richard. No, that's below his pay grade. You heard there's only a couple billionaires there. So, yeah. Only a couple. The owner of the...
Are we being totally honest? Richard would provide incredibly much more insight and information and ideas than 100%. 90% of the guys on this list.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. And somehow, some way, the most represented entity in this whole thing is Notre Dame. Call me crazy. That's what blows my mind the most.
Yeah.
Why does Notre Dame get to double up in representation? There's more Notre Dame than SEC at this thing.
Yeah.
Greg Sankey has the same amount of Greg Sankey has less representation at the Save College Football Commission than professional golf. Oh, well. Marty, I agree. Like Condoleezza Rice, I respect her.
I'm surprised, though.
Yeah. Like, her inclusion she was on the playoff selection committee. I get that. But I just was throwing that name out there, too. There's another person involved there. She makes a lot more sense than Bryson, let me tell you that.
And correct me wrong, no current coaches either?
Did not see the name of
Saban
a
and Meyer aren't current coaches.
Saban, Meyer, and Mac
bringing in a guy who's like, I have to deal with this every day. Nobody who's from a college's player personnel department, a college general manager who has to deal with this stuff every day. Nobody from any NIL collectives. Am I correct?
Not referenced in the article anyway.
A Walker Jones or a Charlie Winfield should be at this kind of event. Somebody from one of those, but they're not mentioned. So, I mean, what are we doing? Oh, well. Man, 601-879-4395. And so what will come from this? Nothing. Bad ideas. Ideas that will get struck down in court. Simple as that.
Why isn't Jimmy Sexton invited? Honestly,
that's a good question. He should be there. An agent should be there.
A lot of them. NIL agents should be there.
Like, I could come up with a 36-person panel.
That would be great.
Of people that made sense.
Ooh, let's do that when we come back.
Okay.
Let's create
what should be the panel.
What should be the panel.
Right, I'm in.
Sports Talk Mississippi. We'll be right back.
From the in Mississippi sports,
you'll hear about it first, right here.
Sports Talk Mississippi.
Welcome back, Borkey and Hadad, Sports Talk Mississippi. If you're just joining us, Ross Jones reporting the president has invited 36 people to do a roundtable to help save college sports. They include all the Power 4 commissioners, some ADs, some former coaches, some former players, also 2 professional golfers, Adam Silver, the commissioner of the NBA, for some reason, and people like that. So as we went through the list, we were kind of laughing because not a single current player, not a single current coach, not a single current GM, anybody, collective head, none of those people are in this. So I challenged Hadad during the break, okay, if you were to make a commission like this that actually makes sense, who would be on it? Who would you send to Capitol Hill to have a roundtable that could actually, I don't know, do something?
So we're going to put, and I guess I misspoke because Cody Campbell is the Texas Tech collective guy, right? Or is he just a donor? Or does he run their collective?
He's just a donor.
Okay, then. So I want.
But he's trying to get the SAVE Act passed, which will not pass.
All right, will not pass. So I'm going to bring in, first I'm going to bring in 6 commissioners, the Power 4, and I'm going to bring 2 group of 6, right? Probably going to go Sun Belt and either MAC or Mountain West, right?
Something like that.
I'm going to bring in 6 coaches. Same scenario. I'm not bringing Kiffin. I think that would just be an incredibly bad idea. But I'm probably going to bring, Lanning, Smart. I'll bring in Dabo because I want some dissenting opinions.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Dabo, and then from the Big Ten, probably going to bring Ryan Day. Maybe. Ryan Day's probably the guy to bring.
And I would look into a couple of coaches at a Rutgers or a program like that.
I'm going to bring the 2 group of 6 coaches.
Yeah.
I'm going to bring, I'll bring Blake Anderson, and I'll bring, I don't know, whoever the head coach is.
Oh, man, Blake Anderson would be great because his career is coaching at the group of 6.
Yeah. All right, so now I've got 12 already knocked out. I'm bringing in Sexton and at least one other agent. I don't know enough of their names, but I'm bringing 2 agents. I'm going to bring in – I'm going to go the same thing with the players here. I don't think I need 6 players. I'm going to bring 2 Power 4 players and 2 group of 6 players. And I want a mix of – I want 2 guys that have transferred and 2 guys that have not.
Like that.
You mentioned Chambliss. Chambliss has transferred. Julian Sand has been a transfer. So I don't know who I bring. But that's where I'm going. I'm going to do my best to get somebody who has stayed, at least a junior, and has stayed 3 years, and I'm going to bring in a guy who's transferred, a couple times. I want that. So now that's 12, that's 16. I've got 2 agents. I'm bringing in 3 collective guys from around the country, and again, I want a group of 6 guy in there for sure. We'll talk about the challenges that they face. Then I'm going to go Campbell, and it can be tough. It's probably easier nowadays to get guys to admit to being boosters. When Godfrey did that article, I know people who turned that down because they didn't want it. It was all done in the shadows. Now that it's out in the open, you could probably get you could probably get Cody Campbell and 2 more guys like him.
The bank rollers.
Yeah, guys who are like, this is what I'm putting my money into. Those guys. I need a couple lawyers on this committee. I need some people who can stand up and say, okay, well, I like that idea, but here's why that doesn't work legally. I want. I've got football, but I need a couple of other athletes as well. I need a couple of basketball players, and I need a couple of Olympic sport athletes. The ones who are not getting a lot of NIL.
Like a soccer player, even.
A soccer,
like
a tennis player, a track athletes. I want a couple of those in there as well. How many have I got? Am I close?
You're close, but
right.
That makes sense, though.
And then last but not least, Sydney Sweeney.
I mean, that's what Bryson's there for.
I mean, you go your route, Donald, I'll go mine, you know?
That's exactly what Bryson's there for.
Sydney, you sit right here. You sit right next to me.
Oh, man. Yeah, so here locally, somebody says Isaac Smith and Suntarian Perkins. There you go.
Be great. Two guys.
Lenora Sellers would be one, too. Hasn't transferred, plays quarterback.
Right.
Smart guy, it seems.
Yeah. Sellers would be a good one.
Tom Mars.
Not the worst. I mean, we're laughing, but that fits the lawyer description. He's been involved in these type of cases. Bring him in.
That's so much better.
Yeah.
Hey, I can't get out of my head Bryson walking around in his Crushers GC gear while everybody else is in suits and stuff. I'm sure he would wear a suit, but it's funnier to me him wearing that stupid logo around, shaking hands with Greg Sankey, and they would have nothing in common.
Right.
At all. Other than, I like sports ball.
I just don't know, man.
Oh, well. New rules, more new rules, possibly coming to college football. We will get to those for your college football fix. New rules. They keep adjusting some things. Some of these are good. One of them doesn't make sense to me. So we'll tell you about them after the news for the college football fix.
Your Hawk, Mississippi, on the SuperTalk app, your local SuperTalk station, and at supertalk.fm.
Welcome in, Sports Talk Mississippi, hour number 3. I'm Michael Borkey. He's Brian Hadad. This is your college football fix. Dang it, Hadad. Unpredictable.
I looked up
Some days.
I looked up at my at the brick here, which is the thing that connects us. It's like the force. It binds us. Hold on. Huh?
Okay.
Huh?
We're good.
Huh?
We're good.
We're good. We're good.
Right.
It's the college football fix. It's driven by your Mississippi Ford dealers. Built Ford Tough. The best-selling truck in America is the Ford F-150. Are you looking for a new truck? Why would you look anywhere else? Don't you want to have the best? I can tell you how to get one. Go visit our friends at your nearest Mississippi Ford dealer today. Thank you for your attention to this matter.
So it is the off-season in college football, and something that comes every off-season in college football is rule changes, proposals for rule changes anyway, tweaks, things like that. And next month there's going to be a vote on these upcoming rule proposals. They could add more, but here's what we know right now. We did talk about this a little bit yesterday, but it's a more clear now. Targeting is subject to change. Division I football rules makers have proposed a 1-year trial run, allowing a player disqualified for targeting the first time to play in his team's next game, regardless of which half the penalty was assessed. So they want to try that for a year. Basically, if you get ejected in the second half of a game for targeting, you get to come back and play right away in the next game.
That's a good rule, especially if it's the lower grade targeting.
A second disqualification for targeting would trigger the old rule. So a second one, you would miss the first half of the next game if it's your second targeting of the year. A third would cause a 1-game suspension. Okay.
And then a fourth,
you go to prison.
You're kicked out of the sport. You're Chad Powers.
What I don't like is the concept right now of like flagrant 1, flagrant 2, yellow card, red card, not what they're exploring right now. They're still talking about ejection from the game, and I don't like that.
Right. I don't care for that.
We are too not politically liberal. Shout out Mornings with Richard Cross. His new show. I say new. He's been at it for a year now.
Yeah.
I mean, that we are too liberal with ejections. We do it too often for my liking. There are times where players just are making a football play, and the contact happens, but it's not malicious. It's not even bad form. It's just football. And they get kicked out of a game, and that's not right. It's just not right, and they're apparently going to keep doing that. I don't love that. The next one.
All right.
Dress code. The Rules Subcommittee proposed that players wear leg coverings from the top of their shoes to the bottom of their pants. The players would have to wear the same covering style and colors for that particular game. Players out of compliance with the rule would have to leave the game for at least one down and correct the issue. A team would receive a warning for the first offense. If a team has a second offense under this proposal, the offending team would have been given a 5-yard penalty. Any subsequent violations become a 15-yard penalty.
So, hold on. Read the first part again.
It's a proposed rule.
Must have missed something.
That players wear leg coverings from the top of their shoes to the bottom of their pants. No legs allowed. And that is so stupid.
That one's dumb.
What happens if a player doesn't want to wear leggings? Because that's what you're telling them to do. They got to wear leggings.
Yeah.
What if you don't want to wear them?
Who wears leggings? No.
If you look at the
pants,
NFL,
you wear your socks.
It's very common in the NFL.
I'm sure it is. That's the one I'm not going to get behind. I don't like that one at all.
What if a player just has appropriate length pants and doesn't want to have
you
extra
got your
restrictions?
Pants down to your knee, and you're good. I don't need to have leggings on.
This can't pass, right? There's no way that passes. That's really dumb.
Who sponsored this bill? The owner of Lululemon? What is going on here?
So let me get the name of the individual that's quoted here.
Mr.
A.J. Edds, EDDS, Rules Subcommittee Chair and Vice President of Football Administration for the Big Ten, on the dress code said, quote, "The current look of the uniform is clearly not meeting the expectations of the college football community. This will take a collective effort by the administrators, coaches, and officials to communicate expectations to players and equipment managers. This proposal, we believe, is definitive and gives us a chance for consistent enforcement across Division I football." Hey, Mr. Edds.
Mr. Edds.
Calm down, man.
A horse is a horse, of course, of course.
Calm down, Mr. Edds. Calm down, okay?
Yeah, what he's saying there is just, that's foolishness.
Guys can show their calves if they want to, dude. What are we doing here? It's a ridiculous one. This one is funny. Fair catch kicks.
Okay.
Under a proposal, this has happened in the NFL before. A team could choose to attempt a fair catch kick after a completed or awarded fair catch. The kick would be a field goal place kick with a holder or a drop kick from the spot where the returner caught the ball. The defense would have to be at least 10 yards from the spot of the kick. If that kick goes through the uprights, it would be worth 3 points. It happened in the NFL in 2024. Chargers kicker Cameron Dicker the kicker, real guy, converted a 57-yard fair catch field goal against the Broncos.
It does exist.
That was really wordy. So here's what I'm saying. If you've got your opponent pinned deep and they've got to punt it away at their own 1-yard line, and your returner calls a fair catch from your opponent's 40, you can line up and kick a field goal from that spot, and it counts as 3 points.
Don't know about that. Drop kick. What's that count? 3 points?
But here's my question. Do you keep the ball?
I don't know the answer to that.
That just hit me. I read this earlier today. I should have had this pulled up. It just hit me. Do you get to keep the ball? Do you keep the ball on a fair catch kick? Let's see what AI says. Of course, it's wrong.
Let's see here. The ball is returned. If the kick is successful, you get 3 points. If it's misses or it's short, it's treated like a normal missed field goal, and the ball is returned to the opposing team.
But what happens when you make it?
Well, if you make it, don't you just kick off because you got 3 points? You just got to kick off, right? It's a field goal. You just kick off. They do get the ball back.
There have been 9 unsuccessful attempts to do that.
What?
So, yeah, I mean, if you have your opponent pinned deep and it's a tie game, they get a punt off, you call a fair catch, you got a great kicker. I mean, think about it. Ole Miss is basically in field goal range when they cross the 50 with Carniero.
Yeah, that's not. You're not wrong.
You will work on this scenario now in your special teams practice.
Yeah.
You may never use it. It's only happened 9 times in the NFL since 1975.
Yeah, it's
a
rare feat, but it's good to have it in your back pocket, you know.
And then the last one, this is from Brandon Marcello. So apparently this is just for offensive pass interference, but there's a proposal that would change OPI from a 15-yard penalty to a 10-yard penalty. Why? Why is the offense punished less for the same violation than the defense? Why? Who does that benefit?
Why?
What is that for?
Why? I don't know the answer to that one. That's a good question. It feels like the penalty should be the same. Offside / false start is the same penalty.
Yeah.
It's 5 yards.
Holding's the same.
Holding is the same. They should be the same.
Well, I don't get it. That makes no sense to me.
I can't wrap my head around I want to know what the logic is. Like, I want you to explain it to me like I'm 5. Why would the offense get less yards? Especially like defensive pass interference can be blatant. Offensive pass interference is usually the most blatant, right? You get guys doing those rub routes. They're trying to separate you, or they're just pushing off of defenders. I don't know why that would be less.
I think PI should be a spot foul, personally, because you incentivize DBs when they get burned to commit the penalty by it only being 15 yards. I know that college officiating is very inconsistent and stuff like that, but if a DB gets burnt, the smartest thing that he can do is just tackle the receiver when the ball's in the air.
Yeah.
That's why I think it should be a spot foul, to avoid intentional penalties, but oh well. Text line has blown up. We will get to as many as we can when we come back. That's your college football fix, driven by Ford and your local Mississippi Ford dealer.
From the best sports talk in the state.
It's the best thing.
Say that again.
We the best on 3. 1, 2, 3. We the best.
Sports Talk Mississippi. Super Talk Mississippi.
Welcome back, Sports Talk Mississippi. The text line absolutely blew up on this, so we will get to as many of yours as we can. Tony, this is a point that frustrates me too. You're exactly right. Why is an offensive player like a running back never flagged for targeting? They lead with the crown and initiate contact head-to-head all the time. They do. All the time. So it's only player safety is only a concern when it's the defender? That makes no sense too. What do you want a linebacker to do when the running back is up high, running, and then he sees you and immediately drops his head down and puts the top of his head in the middle of your chest? What are you supposed to do? He didn't get 15, but if you did that, you're out of the game. I'm with you.
I agree.
Somebody says no leggings, but socks, please.
You should be wearing socks if you're playing football, for sure.
Skip says leggings should be really nice, particularly in August and September in the South. Yeah, absolutely.
So we have like 5 or 6 of these because I need clarification for you because I'm not 100% sure. So they punt, you call a fair catch, and you can kick a field goal from the spot.
From the spot.
Why can't I do that anyway? It's first down.
It's a free kick.
They can't block it?
They have to stand 10 yards from the kick. There's
no rush.
There's no rush. It is you have a holder, but you don't have to snap it to him. There's no variables. You just kick the ball.
Gotcha.
Yeah, there's nothing the defense can do to prevent you from getting the kickoff.
Okay.
That's the difference.
Gotcha.
Yeah, what about when those big linemen make a tackle and their jersey rises up? Are they going to get a dress code violation for showing off their belly, or is it just showing calves? That's a stupid rule. Yeah. Okay.
What if somebody gets their pants pulled down? It happened. Joe Burrow. It happened to him here at State.
Sorry, scrolling through all those questions that you mentioned. Yeah, definitely an end-of-half, end-of-game thing. You wouldn't do it during the game, but, I mean, again, if you back your opponent up deep in their territory, and there's just a few, I mean, what was it, Michigan State, where Michigan State blocked the punt.
Yeah.
But in that scenario, Michigan was pinned deep, just a few seconds left in the game. They have to get a punt off.
Yeah.
You have your returner way up just in case he shanks it or whatever.
Right.
Wave a fair catch, see what happens. Because if the ball's spotted on the 50, again, Carniero can make a 60-yard field goal. He's got the leg for that, no problem.
No problem.
He did 57 in the Sugar Bowl. It would have been good from 70.
Yeah.
So, many of those questions. I don't get it. What's stopping you from kicking the field goal? I'm glad we gave you guys some clarity on that one. Yeah, defensive holding is different. It is different, actually. So it's 5 yards and 10 yards.
Is it? It's 5 yards for defensive holding? I guess you're right, yeah.
But you do get the automatic first down.
Right.
Somebody says that's a high school rule, too. We practice fair catch kick every Thursday in walkthroughs. The plan was if it's late in the half and they were pinned deep to do it. Never actually did it.
It's good to have it in your back pocket, though.
You know how good of a coach you would feel like, though, if
you pulled that off, you would be walking around like this. Be so happy.
It's like the guys that lay out of bounds and they touch the ball inbounds.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another quirky football rule. So if there's a ball that is angled towards the sideline on a kickoff, the returner can be out of bounds. So they can run out of bounds and touch the ball inbounds, and it counts as a kick out of bounds.
Correct.
How big brain must you feel when you pull that off? Which, by the way, that's a bad rule.
It's a terrible rule, but you do feel great when you make it happen.
The kick is not out of bounds. It just doesn't make any sense at all. Not at all. Brian says, put the kickoff return back in the game. 98% of kicks go through the end zone or stop kickoffs altogether. Fewer commercials.
Well, fewer commercials is never, ever, ever going to happen. Never,
You guys remember Greg Sankey's answer to my question about game length and downtime in games and the fans are getting frustrated? His answer was a politically way of, we do not care.
Yeah.
Fans are frustrated. I don't care.
We asked him how much longer the commercials were going to go on, and he said, forever. Forever.
Everybody made fun of the NFL. They have at least the kickoff is a play.
Yeah.
It looks goofy, but when you go to an NFL game, at the kickoff, receiver catches the ball, and they run it out.
Yeah.
It does happen. So,
By the way, how often does Trump mention that with this group about talking about NIL? How many times does he mention the NFL kickoff rule? At least twice.
Wait, he did mention that, didn't he?
He mentioned it the other day. He mentioned it in his interview with Josh Pate. He started going on about the NFL's kickoff rule right after he said South Carolina was good.
Man.
So, yeah, I guess some of these rules are just, I guess.
Yeah, right here. My DB coach in high school coached us to grab the receiver if you knew he was going to beat you. He always said it's better to give them 15 over a touchdown. Absolutely.
Your DB coach in high school was 100% accurate.
Apparently, it was also Chris Schelling. He said, shout out to Coach Shelley, played at Auburn in the 90s. There you go.
Congrats. He knew what he was talking about.
Wonder how many times they called OPI this past year. Could not have been many. They really don't call it a lot. They need to more.
They want to let those guys get after it.
You absolutely have to kick it. So if you're going to do the fair catch kick, you have to kick it. There's no fake because there's no defense. There's no rush. It's right. You are kicking the football freely. You have a holder. There's no tee, but there's no snap. You just kick the ball from the spot. Somebody says, I hope the next move is to get rid of the neon-colored shoes in basketball. Those can be distracting.
I mean, I guess.
They really are.
The guys get to pick their own shoes. Who cares?
Yeah, that one doesn't bother me.
That's not going to be the next one. I'll just go ahead and tell you.
Somebody says, wish Texas would have called a fair catch in Starkville. Oh.
That would have been nice. Might have been a different situation.
Well, why'd you have to do that?
No.
You didn't have to do that. Nobody made you.
What's worse is that guy's probably a State fan.
Yeah.
He's like, how can I make myself feel worse today?
Nobody made you do that.
I was feeling all right, but I don't want to feel good.
Larry wants to know, is the gist of this an end of game thing? Wouldn't you try to score a touchdown? Absolutely. End of half or end of game when you don't have time.
Right.
It's a again, there's only been 10 in the NFL since 1975. But the most recent one 2 years ago was successful. It did work. So he says, knee pads over the knee, please. That's how it used to be.
I mean, that's the funny part. They're knee pads, so they should be over the knee. If they're not over the knee, they're not knee pads. They're lower thigh pads.
I don't know how running backs do it. I would be
terrified.
Forgive me. I would be so insecure about my knees. And I know the pads aren't much, but there's something.
They give you a little cushion, yeah. I don't know what the thought process there is.
James, I remember this. You're exactly right. A bad rule cost Petal a state championship.
Yes.
Offsides on the defense on a made field goal made them re-kick it, and it was no good. I don't. Maybe they have. I sure hope that they stepped in and have fixed that.
Imagine you kick a field goal. You've won the game. A penalty on the defense takes that away from you, and then you miss the next kick. That is absolute BS. No question about it.
I hope they fixed that, especially considering how high profile it was. Like, it wasn't a Friday in August, you know. It was cost a team a championship.
It's foolishness.
A fair catch kick would be 7 yards closer than setting up for a regular field goal. Yep. It's wherever you catch the ball.
Yeah.
Better have a good punter.
Well, nowadays, who doesn't have a good punter and good kicker, especially in the NFL? Like, all of these guys are turning into machines. That's why, like, the other day with that UFL rule, the 4-point thing, I would be concerned about that in the NFL. Because those guys can make 60-yard field goals look like it's nothing.
601-879-4395, the C Spire text line. So glad that you guys are with us. We'll be right back in the Pearl River Resort studio.
From theSeabrook.com.
Now we have a special surprise for everyone.
Give it to me. More Sports Talk Mississippi right now on Super Talk Mississippi.
Catch my breath before I start off again. Moving on without a moment to spend.
Today's edition of Are You Ready to Feel Old? This one is going to hurt.
Go ahead and tell me what it is, sonny boy.
Members of our older... See, this one won't even resonate with you, I don't... I mean, you know this very well, but this was also before your time even.
Okay.
But
the dog times.
This one's going to hurt some of you.
All right.
And I don't mean to, but this is just how it is. Later this year, the anniversary of the release of the Eagles album Hotel California.
Should be what, the 50th?
The 50th anniversary of the release of Hotel California.
I am older than Hotel California.
You are older than Hotel California.
Yeah.
Wait, well, hold on.
Such a lovely place.
So you're 50.
Mm-hmm.
You are. So you are.
I am. I was born in 75.
So you'd have been almost borderline walking when the album came out.
I would have been 2 months old.
Oh, so you were. So the album came out in December, so it's later this year.
It came out in December of this year.
Came out in December. So
December
you've been walking.
Yeah, I should have been walking by that point, yes. I thought you meant it came out like today. And I was like, I was not a prodigy, I promise. Baby walks at 18 weeks.
Yeah.
What?
Heck yeah.
I could talk at 24.
The track listing. Number one on side one, Hotel California, aptly named.
We don't have enough where the first title is the title of the album. We don't have enough of that anymore.
No, now we got to be edgy or whatever.
Yeah.
Second song, New Kid in Town. Mm-hmm. Third, Life in the Fast Lane.
Mm-hmm.
Fourth, Wasted Time.
Okay.
Side two, also Wasted Time. It was an instrumental, whatever. Victim of Love. Pretty Maids All in a Row, Try and Love Again, and The Last Resort.
It's
50 years ago this year.
It's an elite album.
Really
From an elite band. Not my favorite band, but I certainly recognize their place in the history of rock and roll.
Somebody says that was 2. Another one, I just turned 60. Hey, Dad, that's from John.
Well, there you go.
John, did you listen to the Eagles album when it came out, when you were 10?
Probably.
Dwayne says, I remember it well. Unfortunately, I'm 65.
Our fans, our people who are fans of the Eagles, and they listened to that when they were teenagers, and what to your parents, that's what Taylor Swift is to you.
Yeah.
For my mom, when she would listen to Elvis, that's what. When I wanted to listen to, Motley Crue, and now my kids want to listen to Sabrina Carpenter, it's the same thing. I don't know. I used to be with it, then I don't know what it is anymore.
Somebody says, I remember listening to Life in the Fast Lane for the first time in the car with my mother. She wasn't very happy. I don't know if I'm going to explain it very well or not, but it was a video, it's the Beatles, and showing the crowd going crazy and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it says what parents back then thought the Beatles sounded like.
Yeah.
And it was like Slipknot dubbed over the Beatles.
But that's right. That's correct.
Like this is the devil's music.
My mom, when she heard the Beatles, and her mom heard... the actual voice of the devil. And then fast forward to when I'm listening to music and my mom is hearing what her mom heard. I at least have not gotten to the point. There's not been a band or a musical act that I've told my children, you can't listen to that. Yeah.
There would be them if they attempted to, right? I mean, there's some out there that you would say no to.
I guess. I don't know. I don't know what those are. I wouldn't want to listen to Kanye at this point.
Cardi B. If your daughter was walking around blaring Cardi B.
If she was blaring was it the WAP?
Yeah.
The WAP, I might have to say, let's ixnay on that, you know? That might be the one. You're right. Yeah, maybe some Dimmu Borgir. I wouldn't want her listening to that, but that's a different thing. I don't think she would listen to that.
Or Nine Inch Nails just because.
I like Nine Inch Nails.
See, I don't. I can't figure them out.
Recently, there's a video going around of them doing a cover of Gary Newman's Cars with Gary Newman, and they are throwing down, man. It's fantastic.
Okay, I'll check that out, actually.
You need to check that out. And Gary Newman, who's like, I got to be 70, he's still up there, going to town. I like Nine Inch Nails.
I watched, because I want to learn, I want to experience. I'm open to suggestions and stuff. And I have seen people talk about Nine Inch Nails and how they're awesome and timeless and classic and all that. And I mean, I even love Pink Floyd, but like Led Zeppelin's my favorite band. I like the Rolling Stones a lot, Styx, all of them. I watched a full concert of Nine Inch Nails because I wanted to understand. Yeah. And when I was done, I was like, I don't get it.
I remember one time I was at the barber shop. And I'm in the one chair, and there's like a little 5-year-old kid in the other chair. And the barber had it playing on like Sirius XM radio, had it on the alternative channel, and Closer starts playing. And I just looked at the guy, and he looked at me, and he ran over there and changed it over to classic rock. And we laughed for about 5 minutes. We're like, that kid was about to get an education.
Yeah, he was.
Like, what did he say?
You got to grow up at some point.
I guess. I don't know if 5 years old at the barber shop is the time for that, but...
Somebody says they saw the Eagles in Tupelo in the early 90s when they got back together, sang Hotel California
Acoustic. That was a big deal, the Hell Freezes Over tour, that when they got back and were playing shows.
My granddad wouldn't let my mom go see Elvis.
I mean,
imagine what he would think. What he would think about, like, the award shows today, where they have all the acts of all the famous musicians.
There you go.
Because, like, they teach Elvis in kindergarten, which, by the way, awesome. That's all. I love that kindergartners are learning about Elvis. That rules. But that's how things have evolved. I was 17 when Hotel California and a senior in high school when that came out. That's awesome. John says it was on the radio all the time. I mean, heavy rotation on the Memphis radio station. How old are you, Mr. Borkey? I will be 34 next month. Left Alice Cooper, my dad's 8-track. He was not impressed. Oh, man.
There's a new Elvis movie coming out tomorrow. I wasn't aware.
Is there really?
I wasn't aware of that.
Did you watch the one with...
No.
I've been meaning to.
I'm telling you, my movie watching is behind me. I don't know how many more movies I've got left in me. I'll go see Doomsday in December next year, but other than that, I don't know.
I like biopics.
Yeah.
Apparently the spring, and I don't like Springsteen
Queen
anyway.
One is good.
The Queen one's good.
Yeah.
There's a show that's based on Fleetwood Mac. I forget what it's called. It's not actually about Fleetwood Mac, but they're the inspiration behind it. That's really good. I forget what it's called though. Apparently the Springsteen one is just horrendous. With Jeremy Allen Wade, isn't that his name?
Yeah.
That it's just boring. They said.
I saw a very interesting train of thought about Bruce Springsteen the other day. And I know some people don't like him because of his politics. We're just talking about his music here. But, like, why isn't Tom Petty what Bruce Springsteen is?
It's a great question.
2 American singer-songwriters. I like Tom Petty's music better than I like Bruce Springsteen's.
I have the same take about Bob Seger.
The Heartbreakers are a better band than the E Street Band. Like, why is Tom Petty, like, why didn't Tom Petty market correct, well, still a Bill Simmons term here, Bruce Springsteen? Seeger is another good example of this. Is it a bar or is it a Seeger bar? Have you found that guy yet?
I have not, but I'm looking forward to it.
You've got to find him because he's incredible. Goes into all these bars and sees if he can get It's incredible the number of young bartender females who look at him like an idiot when he says Bob Seger. They have no clue who that is.
That's a shame.
We have touch tunes.
Yeah, Bob Seger's worth like 1/10 of what Springsteen is. That makes no sense to me at all. better songwriter, more hits, more of them, better ones. Red-blooded American, I don't know. Somebody says, my dad put me on his shoulders at the Texas Opry House to see the Eagles in 76, my first concert at 7 years old. I got grounded for a week when my dad saw 9 Inch Nails on Napster. There we go.
Napster.
There we go.
I was on Napster.
Daisy and the Six is the name of the show. So it's not about Fleetwood Mac, it's inspired by them. But yeah. A Fleetwood Mac biopic would do numbers.
Yeah.
When they all hated each other and like they were going through, 2 of them were going through a divorce. The other 2 were going through a nasty breakup where one cheated on the other, and they were all, hopped up on stuff. And they wrote one of the best albums of all time while they all hated each other.
Yes.
That needs to be a movie, not Springsteen. Or Bob Dylan. Was it Dylan that Jeremy Allen Wade did the biopic?
No, it's Springsteen. It's Springsteen.
Yeah, Fleetwood Mac needs one. It would be a lot more interesting. Sports Talk Mississippi, most of the time. We'll wrap up the show with you next.
Experience slips away. The innocence slips away.
In the Venable Sports Talk Mississippi is back.
This is it. Super Talk Mississippi.
A Monday warrior, mean strike. Today's Tom Sawyer, mean pride.
Canada's greatest export right there. You can keep your maple syrup, keep your Labatt Blue. I'll take that.
Well, what's the girl's name that the hockey player's dating? Jack Hughes is dating the most popular Canadian out there right now. She's a pop star. I forget her name.
Sabrina Carpenter?
No, she's American.
Jack Hughes' girlfriend is the first thing that pops up. Tate McRae.
Tate McRae. That.
I don't know anything. I don't know who that is. Let's have.
I don't know a single word of any of her songs.
How old is she?
Like 25. I think
you got to be sure about these things these days.
I mean, she's dating now our most recognizable hockey player.
Means nothing. She's 22.
Well, it's still.
It's iffy.
What do you think she thinks about his teeth getting chipped off in half? I mean, he's going to get them fixed, but
the first day she was probably like, "Ew."
Yeah.
Like I don't know what the in my day the word would have been grody. I don't know what it is now, but
apparently she made all Canadians are furious because she liked one of his Instagram posts holding the American flag, and
I get it. I get it.
Lost it.
I get it.
The internet's
an
about
insane
place.
Some of these guys, they play for Canadian teams. Like there's one of them. Is Austin Matthews? Is that his name?
Yeah, and he was the one that was getting just grilled by some loser reporter today over and over.
Plays
again.
for Toronto. Plays for the Blue Jays. The Maple Leafs.
Yeah.
So I wonder how his reaction will be.
Once he plays well for the team, none of the fans are going to care. Because 95%.
Brian Adams would like a word. He can have a word. It's no. We're taking Brian Adams over Rush. Get out. No chance.
I might ban you from the text line for that.
I mean, that is a blockable offense. Brian Adams over Rush? Are you familiar with Neil Peart?
Somebody says nobody cares about Rush. You're insane.
We're going to go on a blocking spree here in just a second.
Jeff and Raymond says nothing like The Boys This Summer. Not sure when it came out, but I'm 69. Still one of my favorites.
Nice.
I'll tell you, that song, you know how sometimes you listen to songs and you just feel something? You don't know what it is, but you feel something?
Yes.
Boys of Summer, every time I hear it, I feel something.
So, the cover version of it, not as good.
Yeah.
The Ataris, not as good.
No, it's okay.
It just doesn't work. It doesn't work the same way.
Yeah.
A black flag sticker on a Cadillac doesn't work the same way as a deadhead sticker on a Cadillac does.
Absolutely. Somebody says Springsteen came to state in 81 or 82, and the tickets were over twice what I paid to see Conway. I just wouldn't pay it.
You know what's funny about that is that what he's talking about, my guess is it was $5 to see Conway Twitty and $10 to see Bruce Springsteen.
Yeah.
Nowadays, you couldn't buy a beer Never mind get into the event. I'm about to get ticket prices. I just activated Borkey there.
I'm good. I'll avoid it. But there are a lot of good shows coming to the state this summer. I would love to go to all of them. There's no way.
My wife's going to see Mumford & Sons in Birmingham in September.
It's a very good show.
I'll take your word for it.
It's music that's not for everybody, but they're really good.
It's not for Brian Hadad. What your parents were hearing with the Beatles, I hear with Mumford & Sons. I'm like, what is that? You know who I would be in that situation? I'd be Randy Marsh. Be sitting there like, oh, no, this is great. Yeah.
Somebody says, took my son to see the Stones with Blind Melon when he was 11. Had a blast. That's awesome. Yeah. Going to try to do that with Journey this summer. And then the Goo Goo Dolls, actually. That's most of you older audience wouldn't.
Are you going to go see Men at Work and Toad the Wet Sprocket and the craziest duo I've ever seen?
I wasn't planning on it.
That is something. When I got an email for that, I was like, could you have picked two more random bands? It's like a Family Guy reference. They just pulled two names out of a hat. Guess what? You're touring together.
It was $30 to see Springsteen in 81. That would be $300 plus today.
Easily.
Oh, gosh, in his prime, way more. Way more.
Well, no, in his prime, ticket prices were still reasonable.
I know, but like today, if it was prime Springsteen
if it was
today.
Prime Springsteen in his, today's prices with in his prime, yes, you would pay $1,000 just to sit in the back row.
Hey, Dad, I'm looking to see the Goo Goo Dolls, who are good, a little past their prime, a lot of hits, for 4 tickets.
Yeah, how much?
$600.
Yeah. Go back and watch the original South Park movie. Even the Canadian government apologizes for Bryan Adams.
Oh, sorry. They should apologize for
I'm not your buddy, friend.
Hockey players not being good enough.
Oh,
boy, I have not seen a meltdown over a sports result like that. I've never seen anything like it. Media, fans, social media, everything losing their minds.
It's just bad. You know what's fun, and this is what kills them, is if we had lost, it would have been like one day of just like, that really sucks. And then we just move on because it's hockey and we just don't care that much about it. But we took the thing that – imagine if the U.S. beat Brazil in the World Cup. Yeah. There would be riots in Brazil.
We'll be back with you. Talk some baseball tomorrow. We'll have a result by the time the show gets started.
Might have Robbie Falk on with us tomorrow just because he's going to be live in Arlington. So
we'll see you tomorrow at 3. Y'all have a good night.
SuperTalk Mississippi Media Production.